there is a very, very big difference, important difference, between a straight line and a circle. As Joe said, the linear economy needs disrupting. And indeed it does. And that journey of discovering not only how to go from a line to a circle, but what that circle can actually look like, has been at the forefront of our minds for the last 10 years and 8 years since we created the foundation. And that journey from the line to a circle has needed distilling, it's needed understanding, it's needed simplifying so people can understand not only the circle, but how to make that circle happen. What does that circle really look like? You know, the 3 points: design, out, waste, and pollution. To keep products and materials in use and to regenerate natural systems. It sounds easy, doesn't it? Sounds like you could do it in a heartbeat. The circle is so simple, but actually there are complex elements to that. How do we really make that happen? And that journey has taken us to some extraordinary places. You know, from me in my early days in a coal-fired power station to speaking on the stage at the Copenhagen Fashion Summit. We've worked with educators and experts all over the world. I've spoken several times at the EU Commission. We've worked with the EU Commission on the Circular Economy Package. We've been from forests in Brazil to Silicon Valley. We've had conversations with all sorts of industries, government leaders all over the world, because it's extraordinary when you shift from a line to a circle, just how many parts of the economy that touches. In fact, it's hard to find parts of the economy that doesn't touch. And we're hugely energized by that circle because we see that as an opportunity. There is an opportunity to regenerate natural systems. There's an opportunity to reconnect nutrient loops. It's phenomenal. You know, we've shown that to be worth trillions of US dollars in different industries, in different territories, in different sectors all over the world. There is an opportunity there that needs to be grasped. Now, getting there is not always that simple, but when you have that vision, it drives innovation. It drives your thinking. It seems we can innovate to wherever we want to get to. We have the digital revolution. You know, when I think to when we created the foundation 8 years ago to now, we can do things with technology today that we couldn't have dreamt about 8 years ago, or perhaps very few of us could. And it's that technology, it's that science and technology that's enabling us to be able to truly create the circular economy at scale and fast. Industries become the biggest in the world in 4 years. Look at Airbnb, just through unlocking technology. The technology enabling us to access data. In that case, it's space in the world. And so this technology revolution is vital for the transition to a circular economy. And I think that's why we feel the time is now. That's why we feel there is so much momentum out there in the world. We have so much interest. We have so many real steps towards that circularity. Now, we're not there yet for sure, but there are real steps showing how we can create that, how we can really make that happen. We have national strategies, France, for example. We have a higher education symposium this week where we had 100 academics run through Exeter University coming together from 40 countries to discuss circular economy and how the next generation of students can learn this as the norm because we have the ability to build a regenerative economic system. We have Solvay joining as a GP right to the beginning of the circular system, the molecule. We need to start at the molecule, and we need to design a system that can circle many, many times. The philanthropic world is moving. We've seen that hugely with our systemic initiatives. They too want to see this transition, and they're playing a vital role in helping us and you to drive this forward, helping us to understand what that circular system looks like for plastics, for the fashion industry. What does it look like for food and the city's environment? Trying to paint that picture. Painting that picture is vital. Resetting that vision so we can see more and more of what it can actually look like. We have new cities joining. We have cities all over the world already, but Brussels and the City of Charlotte have joined recently from the US. The Disruptive Innovation Festival now reaches over 100,000 people from pretty much every country in the world. And hello also to the live stream people who are watching now. Last year, we reckon we reached 60 million people through our own channels at the foundation. This year, we've already reached that, halfway through the year. So momentum is there, momentum is building, and I think when you want to look at what's tangible and what's happening, you look at those statistics, but the work that's happened through systemic initiatives has been phenomenal. To think that we began 3.5 years ago at the World Economic Forum, working with McKinsey, working with the idea of a circular economy, and trying to work out how we can break down stalemates in the economy. If you want to shift Let's take one global material stream. If you want to shift that from linear to circular, how do you do that? And we knew then that the biggest company in the world as a brand, or the biggest territory in the world, couldn't fix that. In order to change the system, you need to go to the root cause. You need to go right back to the beginning, and that involves all the companies and all the territories right across the world. In fact, it involves a different way of working, a different way of functioning. Joe mentioned systemic initiatives. We need to change the system. This isn't cleaning up the beaches in the case of plastic a little bit faster. That's vital, that has to be done. But you need to stem the flow and go to the beginning of the system. And when you look at momentum, what I see as the most phenomenal momentum is in 3.5 years going from 12 CEOs sitting in a room trying to work out how to do something to a point where we have cities, regions, governments involved, and we now have over 10% of the global market of plastic packaging by weight who have committed to making 100% of their packaging reusable, compostable, or recyclable by 2025. That makes everything they will produce in the future have value. And if it has value, it will be collected and fit back into the system. So we're seeing real progress, and we have Make Fashion Circular following in the textile space, and then cities and circular economy for food following that. So there is huge momentum, but we're at the beginning. And what today is about raising the levels of ambition even further, setting the targets even higher. If you look at the foundation, we're 8 years old. We look at 2025 as being a significant target. We're halfway there. We've pedaled hard in the past, but we need to pedal a lot harder in the future, because that opportunity is sitting there waiting to happen, and we need to make that happen. And that's what today is all about. It's about disrupting the linear economy and making it into a circle, line to a circle. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.